Yo, what's going on, everybody? Just give me a second to get the mic a little bit closer so I don't have to move too much. um, what's going on, everybody? All right, let me mute that. I always forget to mute the Google page. It's whatever. What's going on, everybody? What's good? It's a Black Manga Critic here. Let's just talk about stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like doing streams like this just because like I just got out of I want to say 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, something like that. Just got out of Matt B's stream, One Piece stream. You know what I mean? And that was cool. You know, we were talking about we were talking about One Piece. We were also talking about just stuff. Like we were just talking about stuff. You know what I mean? Like what I like about this particular community is like, when like we could say, oh, let's talk about this manga or whatever. But I think a lot of us are very much so, inquisitive people in that way. So we could just talk about, we could talk about manga, we could talk about anime, we could talk about sports, we could talk about music, we could talk about event, world events and shit like that. Just general shit. You know what I mean? And like that's cool. Like I have people like, and like I can talk about certain things, right? Like, and that's great and everything like that. But like outside of like my fiance and like my brothers, like it's hard. It's hard finding people that you could talk to about like any old thing. And this is a really great group, like, Matt B, Brago, Dustin Reacts, One Vision, Joseph Logan, Do It With Don Tom, Steve-O, Orpheus, Dark Side. You know what I mean? I'm like all these people, Professor Pokey, all these people that I talk to in the streams. You know what I mean? Like real cool shit. And then people like that are like my subs, Sue LaCroix, Yume, Dragonite 666, like all these people that I talk to are just like cool. So all right, so we can talk about anything. Like whoever comes through, like let's shoot the breeze about whatever. What's going on, Master Trudy? I gotta add you as a moderator. Like I said, one thing I learned is just like people come through, people watch your content, people do stuff like that. Like we can talk about whatever. Let me see. So like if you got a question, if there's something that like generally you've been thinking about, if you want to talk about, we can talk about like real talk. So we can get that started. Just give me a sec. All right. It's weird. All right. But yeah. All right. But let me know. I'm trying to think because I always have something I want to talk about. I'm interested in like too many, like probably too many things. Like I'm always trying to put like 2 feet into like 5 or 6 different things, and like that's not fucking smart. But like it's good. You grow, you learn about shit. Even if like you're not like super 100% into like a particular thing, it's always good to like pick shit up. But I don't know. I guess like the first thing I want to talk about is this is a question this is a question for y'all out there, like whoever like comes in the chat or whatever. If y'all watch Everyday Struggle, like that shit is hilarious to me. That shit is like it's definitely like a little bit of like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a little like ridiculous in some ways, just because like it's clearly like a show where like DJ Academics and Joe Budden can like sort of sip tea and like talk about shit and how they're feeling about the music industry and rap music and hip hop music or whatever. And it's it's entertaining. Like I will say this, like it's an entertaining ass fucking show. That shit would definitely have me laughing. It's definitely had its moments where you just like you go on YouTube and you just watch it over and over. But like one that was really good, and one of sort of like one of those moments where I was just like, yeah, I agree. I don't do that often, but one of the moments where I was like, yes. Recently, Joe Budden was like talking about Jay Electronica and how he hadn't really come out with a album. You know what I mean? Like a full-fledged project that could be considered to be a debut album or something like that. And it's been like years, and he was like it's been like 7 years. You know what I mean? And then on I want to say Instagram or something like that, Pete Rock was talking about, oh, it's been 70 years and what you come out with, nothing. And it was just really funny. It was just like, and I think one thing that I actually agreed with when it comes to like when it came to what Pete Rock said and what Joe Budden said was like, with one, Pete Rock was sort of talking about how like, you have individuals who think, and particularly artists and creators and people like that who think that like, anytime they're putting something out, it's like, the world's about to like, change incredibly or whatever. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, where like, you have artists who think like they gas themselves up a bit too much. And I think like at some of the levels, you have to think that like your content, the stuff that you create, that you're putting out there matters. Otherwise, it's very difficult, to kind of keep going and to produce like stuff, right? But at the same time, like, yo, Jay, like it's been 7 years. Like you can't, what was it? Like Exhibit A, Exhibit C, like those two tracks. Like he's had a few other tracks, but nothing that like is really like, yo, like a catalog. You know what I mean? Like when you look at like the rappers that you love, or even the artists that you love, right? Like you look at them and you're like, bruh, like you love them for a particular reason. You love them because they put out content that is just fucking like, wow, like consistently. You know what I mean? Maybe they have some hiccups here and there and shit like that. You know what I mean? But like usually they put out content that's like, really, really, really good. For me, like all right, so I'm thinking about like the Roots. Like the Roots is like legendary. Why are they legendary? Because like every one of those albums is either fire or good, right? Like right. Like I've never listened to a Roots album that was like total shit. You know what I mean? And that takes a lot. Like for them to go out like consistently. You know what I mean? Like from the early 90s, maybe even the 80s, like late 80s, something like that, right? And like but I would say early 90s, like to keep coming out with all that content. And they keep putting out fire shit, right? Like a lot of that's on like Questlove, Black Thought, and like just their levels of talent. But like they kept doing it, they kept putting out stuff, right? So their catalog is a big reason why they're so phenomenal and why they're beloved and why I think like Black Thought's like, for me, he's my favorite MC, he's my favorite rapper because like he's consistently been great, right? And like Jay Electronica, like has talent, right? No one's disputing. Well, I won't say no one's disputing his talent. There are some idiots out there that do dispute his channel, right? But like, it's anime. Yo, I'm definitely gonna. Oh, you changed your name. All right, cool. Yo, I told you, man. I told you. Like, if you keep putting out content, it's anime boy. Like, if you keep putting out content, people gravitate towards it. If you keep putting out content and you keep putting out content that like people want to see, that's even better. If you start doing it that at the beginning, it like you'll grow. You know what I mean? Like and that's your goal and you want to grow and you want to do all those things, then like just keep going. But back to like the thing, like right, like Jay Electronica and like people getting on Jay Electronica because he has to put out content. Some people like, he doesn't have to put out content, he's a person, let him put out content at his own time, blah blah blah. The thing about that, right, is like when you enter a particular realm, right? Like if Jay Electronica was just like an artist out here, he was just an independent artist doing whatever, he was like, you know what, I don't want to, put out content. I just want to make music for people, and maybe they listen to it, maybe they won't, maybe I'll distribute it, blah blah blah, whatever. Like that's a decision you make as a person, right? But like if it's like, yo, you're an artist, you're signed to a label. You have label heads looking out, like looking for you to, not only create content but to put that content out. Then it's like, come on, like it's like 7 years. That's blasphemy, right? And not only is it blasphemy, because like generally, but specifically because if let's say like right, like I'm trying to think of an artist that like took like dumb long to put out like content after like a while, maybe right, like even like right, like recently like Mace, Cameron, like they like recently like put out like tracks that like are like big tracks, you know what I mean? Like and they probably publicize those tracks in a certain way. And before that, they weren't really doing that, right? After like 06, 07, whatever, you know what I mean? So there's like particular ways in which like if you're an artist and you're an artist that's signed by a label, and like you got to put out content. Like it's like like I'm pretty sure like somewhere, so like unless he like signed like some ridiculous or unless like Poe, like, you know, Jay and like everyone else from like Rock Nation or whatever was like, oh, you know, whatever, like, you know, go at your own pace, blah blah blah, whatever. Like that's a stupid ass contract, because then like they're not making money off of that. You know what I mean? But that shit is absolutely ridiculous to me. You know, and that's why like I can't look at Jay Electronica and be like, yo, this guy's one of the best MCs ever, da, 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 da. Because when you say like someone is one of the best MCs ever, that means like they have a catalog that is substantial, right? Has quality, you know what I mean? So right, over a like prolonged period of time. And that prolonged period of time could, you know, that prolonged period could be like 3 years, it could be 4 years, you know what I mean? Or it could be like, you know, 10 years, it could be 15 years, whatever. You know what I mean? But you need to have a few years. Like if you don't have a few years of like you know, if you don't build that catalog where you have like at least 2 albums, right? Like it's hard. It's hard. And it's very rare that right, like if he had an album, I think people would be less likely to get on him than it, right, like than now, because now he doesn't have a fucking album even, right? He doesn't really have like a substantial thing of work that people are like, yo, I can go to that and like argue with other people, you know, to say that like he's the best like MC, whatever. So shit like that pisses me off. It's like, yo, you have like people who don't understand where they are, like the space they're in and what's sort of required of them, and the fact that they put themselves in that position, right? It's almost like Jay, like, oh well, you know, I'm signed or label, but I don't gotta do that. I'm just like chill. You know what I mean? Like I think he's dating like a Rothschild or whatever. You know that has something to do with it. Like there's no way that you're like dating money. You know what I mean? Like you're dating like money, or you're like, you know, in a relationship with someone who is like incredibly wealthy, and like you're not right. And if you're in a happy relationship with that person, like, and you're not profiting off of that, like off of that wealth, get the fuck out of here. Like if he comes out and says, oh no, you know, I'm just chilling, you know, get the fuck out of here. You lying. Stop it. So, you know, shit like that kind of gets on my nerves. And like, you know, people were getting on Joe Budden about you know, oh, Joe's hating, da 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 da. Joe ain't got no bars. I'm like, Joe Budden has plenty of bars. Joe Budden has like pretty quality content in terms of like the lyricism. And I mean, he's never slack with that. So people going on him about, you know, why is he getting on Jay like that? Why can't he just let Jay live? Why can't he just let Jay rock? Because Jay Electronica put himself in a position where he couldn't rock. He couldn't let himself rock. Where people wouldn't, where he wouldn't be allowed to just rock, because like you're signed to a label. Like people are expecting you to put out content. You made particular moves that signified that you were going to come out with content for your fan base. Now you're not doing that. Now you look ridiculous. You know what I mean? So shit like that, it's like gets on my nerves. You know, and it's like you want people to respect you for what? What do you want people to respect you for? What have you done that would put you in like the realm of a Jay-Z or a Common or a Kanye or a Lauryn Hill or Erykah Badu or you know, even like a Rhapsody or Jean Grey or Remy Ma or fucking Queen Latifah. You know what I mean? Like, what have you done? What have you done, Jay? You haven't done shit. You haven't done anything that's like particularly like, whoa, this guy's game changer. This guy's game changer. Like this guy's actually like shifted how individuals like, you know, think about, you know, their business as an artist and stuff like that. He hasn't done shit, man. You know, so get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. But let me see. Yeah, but like, yo, Anime Boy, when it comes to like people don't comment or sub, only view, the things with that, like the same thing happened to me. I think what you really have to do is like, you know, yeah, just keep talking with people. You know, keep talking with people. Keep you know, yeah, use Twitter, definitely. Talk with people through Twitter. Talk with people who have like channels, like, right, like when like Dustin Reacts like has you know, a stream, whatever. You know, get into the stream. Talk with people in the chat. You know, when Braga's doing a stream, talk with people in the chat. You know what I mean? When like you know, like when people like like maybe like Deacon 101 is like, he rarely, I think he rarely does like live streams, but like even if he post a video, like, comment in there. You don't have to like publicize like, oh, I'm doing this stuff, please sub to me or anything like that, because that's like, people don't like that, and I think I did that maybe one time at the beginning, and like I never did it again because it didn't feel right, Let me see. What's going on, Professor Pokey? What's good? You said I had lasagna for Thanksgiving. Yo, one thing. Let's talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, because I think a lot of people have kind of almost like, it's not elitist. It's like, that's not the word I'm looking for, but like very like, oh, narrow-minded, right? It's like narrow-minded like views on what like on Thanksgiving like food, right? So a lot of people want so desperately to hold on to a particular culture or tradition. Maybe that's not the way to say it. Maybe people want so desperately to project a particular image of who they are, and especially like black people, right? It's like of what blackness is, that they will admonish individuals who don't exactly fit into what like a black like Thanksgiving is, right? Like a black Thanksgiving, like for me and my and my family, like for the longest time was not turkey. We didn't have any fucking turkey. You know what I mean? Like we like only really recently, within like the last like maybe 3 years or something like that we had turkey. You know what I mean? Yo, that's so weird, man. Like I don't know what's going on with the notification bell or something like that. I think YouTube's kind of funky. YouTube's kind of funky like that. Like there's definitely some shady shit going on with that, with the notification bell, because I've heard that from YouTubers. Like even like super massive YouTubers have issues with the notification button. So, I'm sorry, Joseph Logan, like sorry about that, man. But like again, like just to say, like again, there are people that have right, and I'm talking about black people, right? Specifically, because like white people, like sometimes I don't got time to talk about to talk with white people about Thanksgiving. I really don't. But when I'm talking about black people, because I'm like that's like my experience, right? Like that's my life, that's my history, right? So there are black people who have issues with the way that other black people have their Thanksgiving meals and cook food and things like that. And it's like, yo. Blackness is never static. This is one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. And this even black people, right? Like blackness is not a static thing. It is very much so something that is like continuously shifting and changing and growing and becoming more powerful and stuff like that. So for me, like I said, like again, like my mother always cooked fried fish for Thanksgiving. That's what we had, and it was fucking banging. It was fucking banging, man. I can think about it right now. You know what I mean? It was so fucking good, man. And she can still make it, but she doesn't make it anymore. Like she like we do turkey now, and like that's fine because she cooks a banging turkey too. You know what I mean? So it's not it's like people have what they're gonna have. The people eat what they're gonna eat. People eat what the fuck they're gonna eat. You know what I mean, for Thanksgiving. Like my thing about that is like, yes, you can respect certain things and certain, like you should definitely respect the traditions of others. But like if you're cooking food that like tastes really good, I'm not complaining about shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not complaining about enough. Like what was it? Roland Martin, the guy who's on I think he's on BET or whatever. Like he's sort of like one of the big black media personalities, right, in terms of like journalism and broadcasting and everything like that. And like he had like he called it like dirty rice, like, right? I think it's like a sort of Cajun kind of like a Creole kind of like dish, right? And he had that, and people on Twitter were getting on him because he had fucking rice, because he had banging rice for Thanksgiving. It's like, yo, see, like that's what I'm talking about. It's like people have a very like, and I'm talking about black people, right? Like because like white people, we already know this. We already know that like white people don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to blackness, and people of color, right? But when I'm talking about like people, like this is like, right, like black people are legit getting on a lot of black people about fucking banging food. Like, yo, I'm pretty sure that dirty rice tasted great. You know what I mean? So shit like that gets on my fucking nerves, man. I hate that shit. It really does. You know, like because it's like that's a like right like that cadence stuff and like that like you know traditions like very much is like also steeped in blackness. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about blackness, when you're thinking about blackness, you have to think about it as a spectrum, as something that encompasses a complexity, right? If you're not doing that, like I don't know what to tell you, man. You stuck. You stuck. Manga, you got any tips to make people sub if they view? Let me think. If they view, sometimes it might not be like sometimes you might definitely get people viewing, right? But it starts off slow. Like it might not grow like super fast. And this is the thing, you have to be extremely patient. For me, my goal was I wanted 10 subs. You know, I wanted 10 subs. Now I have 100. I have 100 plus subs, and like that's fucking incredible. I was happy at 10 subs. I was chilling. You know what I mean? I was happy at 10 subs. You know, because I had people that I could talk to right. Like I had subscribers that you know commented things like that. Yeah, work with other YouTubers. Clickbait. Yeah, like I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be clickbait, but like have like titles that really show like an interesting idea, right? Because I think sometimes like people will make a title like in my earlier videos, like I was very like specific about what I wanted to talk about in particular videos and stuff like that, right? I was like, oh, this interested me, that interested me, you know. So I made sure that like one, I would look at other videos about like you know what people were putting out, and I say like, hey, like this is what I want to talk about, you know, or this is an argument that I'm trying to make or something like that. And if you phrase your video titles as like, let's say maybe like arguments or statements, right? Kind of in like very like basic like like a basic thesis statement, I guess, if I want to call it anything, right? That helps too, because people are like, oh, okay, this guy's gonna talk about that. You know, this woman's gonna talk about that. This person is gonna talk about that. Then people are like, oh, I'm gonna come to this. I'm gonna see what you have. Like if you're trying to argue something, if you're trying to prove something, people gravitate towards that, right? You see all these massive YouTubers, right? A lot of these YouTubers like have things that they're trying to prove, you know, and like that's fine. Like I'm not saying like you know like that's why like you know you don't even necessarily need to be trying to prove anything. You can just talk about like, hey, like this was really interesting. This is interesting, but right, be a little different. Yo, just a look, and I'll see you later, man. Thank you for coming through. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like the stream, you know, that always helps. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, really think about your titles. You know, one thing about your titles, think about your thumbnails. Thumbnails are also important. You know, when you know, ask people to comment, like, subscribe. That's what I did at the beginning. I was like, you know, like, comment, and subscribe, like, because sometimes people don't want to like sub. Like for me, when I watched YouTube for the longest, I didn't have a page. Like I didn't even have like a Google Plus or anything like that. Like, I didn't have none of that. I would just watch. Stuff. You know, like I would just like you know watch things and I'd be like, oh, this is cool. But I didn't have like a page, so I couldn't sub, I couldn't do anything like that. Yeah, I mean they are. The thing about thumbnails is like you know they'll be cool, but sometimes like the title is really important. Like you have to quickly like put your put the point that you're trying to make, like what the point of the video is immediately, and you try to frame it in like a, you don't have to frame it in a question, but you can frame it in like just a statement like you know, like you don't have to say I think, but you just like, for me, like might have titles like Emma is the best protagonist in Weekly Shonen Jump, right? That was like one of my videos that got a lot of views earlier on, because it was something that like, oh, people like, oh shit, really? How you gonna prove that? You know what I mean? Like people like gravitate towards things that they can interact with, things that they can argue, or things that they agree or disagree with. So if you have a point that you're trying to make, that really gets people in, you know? And also, like when you're making your videos at the beginning, just like in the first like 30 seconds of the video, 30 seconds is a lot of time. A lot of people will be like, oh, I can't do much in 30 seconds. It's like, you can do a lot in 30 seconds. So the beginning of your videos, like if they're not live streams or anything like that, right? If they're like videos that you're editing and doing everything like that, really have like you don't necessarily need an intro or anything like that. But I think what you do need to do, and that's like tips that I got from like a bunch of people, is like, other YouTube videos and everything like that, is like, state the like point of the video. What is the point of the video going to be? If you're going to try to like, talk about, if you're going to have talking points, state the talking points at the beginning of the video. That way people know what you're going to be discussing. And so that they understand like, oh, like if I go through this video, I'm going to get like 2 points, or I'm going to get 3 points, or whatever, so stuff like that. Yeah. Stuff like that is helpful. It was helpful to me because it helped me, sort of get into a particular sort of zone in terms of making those videos, and in terms of saying like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I know what points I want to make, and I'm going to sort of go on and do that. So I think that's also extremely helpful. And like, I think, and also like something that's specific to you, right? Like you want your videos to like have just like something that's you, like you want your personality to come through. That's really big. That's really big. You want your personality to come through. You want, like, when you start talking, immediately people are like, oh, this guy's excited, this guy's interested, this guy's into, the stuff, and everything like that. You know what I mean? So all of that is really, really important. But like I said, what you also want is like, I guess like for me, like, again, when I started this channel, my only concern was talking to people. It was just talking to people. I just wanted to talk to people about manga and it still is. This is my only goal. I have no goal. I have no goal to like make money, to make this channel like this massive thing, or or anything like that. My goal is just to talk to people. That's it. And to talk about the things that I really love. Like I love manga, I love anime, I love comics. So like and I like a lot of other things, music, sports, stuff like that. So my goal is just to talk with other people, have conversations. That's the biggest thing for me. That's the most important thing for me with this channel. That's why you will never see me monetize this channel. You never see me do anything like that, because it's not my goal. Like for me, like I want people to come to the channel and be like, oh, this guy just wants to talk. He just wants to shoot the breeze. He just wants to talk with me about whatever. I want to talk about whatever. I want to talk about whatever you all want to talk about. That's my goal. So you kind of have to make sure that you kind of get that across. And just like certain things, like like when you end it, even you don't have to end your video with saying, hey, leave a comment, blah blah blah. You can do that at any time in the video. You could say that like twice in the video. Maybe you want to say that in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. That way people are sort of like, damn, this guy really wants like me to comment, as opposed to, oh, he just kind of said it one time and I'll forget about it after. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that. And it doesn't start right away. It took me a while before I had like a bunch of people sub. I think you're in a market where people will sub because the Dragon Ball Super is extremely popular. And it's a good place to start. I think when I started talking about Dragon Ball Super on my channel, that's when I started getting like more subs. Like when I started talking about Dragon Ball Super and The Promised Neverland, that's when I really started getting subs. It was like, yo, like things like that, like really help. So like you kind of have to do it, right. You kind of have to do that, but like you also want to make sure that you actually want to talk about those things. Like that was a point where, right, like I actually wanted to talk about Dragon Ball Super. I actually wanted to. I really wanted to talk about The Promised Neverland because I love that. You know what I mean? Like Dustin Reacts like found me because I had a video talking about Emma and talking about The Promised Neverland and why it was so great. And he was like, yo, I saw your content on that. I thought it was cool, and he invited me for like a for a live stream conversation. You know what I mean? So stuff like that happens. Just keep putting out content. Keep being happy about what you're putting out. Keep making sure that like in your description box you're like, comment, and subscribe. Just like the basic stuff. Like make sure you put stuff. Put your Twitter in your description box. That way people can find you there. And also if you have an Instagram, that helps too. But let me see. Do not have false or made of information. Screw attack variant. Yeah, right. Yeah. Just don't be like Death Battle. Yeah, just put out the content like that you're really trying to argue, that you believe in, that you're like, yo, like I'm riding with this right now because this is how I think. You know what I mean? A lot of people, like a lot of like YouTubers are bigger, I'm thinking of like like a Dustin Reacts, like a Matt B, like a Brago, like a Zor fanboy, like a you know, like they really have like thoughts on what they're reading, and they want to talk about people, right? Like they want to state those points, but they also want to talk with people about those points. It's really important that you get that across. So Kyrie's new, yes, but if I start getting bigger, like, yeah, yo, no, start doing other anime now. This is a big thing. When I started, I was like, you know what? I'm only gonna do certain types of videos. Like my first couple of videos were I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna only talk about Hunter x Hunter, and then I'm going to do reviews of each single volume. That's what I wanted to do, and then I did that, but like that wasn't helping because it just wasn't in a structure that was one helpful to me in terms of you know, gaining like people subscribers and people to talk to, but it wasn't helpful for those people, for those viewers, because it, like the format wasn't really great. The videos were too long. I didn't really know how to edit or anything like that. And then once I learned how to do that, then the videos got shorter. Then the you know what I mean? Then I started really understanding like what I wanted to push across and everything like that. And then people started to find me. You know, so like things like that, like you have to be really, really cognizant of. But yeah, like right, like, you know, like for me, like I really want to start adding other manga. Like I really want to start talking about like shoujo manga, josei manga, stuff like that, manga that people don't talk about. You know, because people are looking for that. That's the thing, right? Like people underestimate how many people out there want to see content creators, right? Want to see people who love anime and manga and comic books and stuff like that talk about the things that all these other YouTubers aren't talking about. Like, let's say if I was only doing One Piece videos, I'd be a fucking nobody. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not to say that that's important to me, but if it's important to you to be known, to like grow, then you have to, you really have to like, what's the word? Stretch out your spectrum, right? Your manga anime spectrum needs to be extremely wide, because if it's not, like, right, it's like you know, it's like, right, it's like that parable, right? It's like that biblical parable, right? Like it's like, you know, maybe I think it's a biblical parable, right? It's like with like catching fish or whatever, right? It's like, you know, your wider net, like you catch more fish, like or well, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But it's not a parable. That's a different parable, and it teaches a different thing. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that cast a wider net, like cast a wider net. Right, this like it's a really basic sort of concept, but it's a really important one, right? Like if you like you can do a mixture of niche and popular, right? Like I cover weekly Shonen Jump stuff because some of those weekly Shonen Jump manga are extremely popular. So for me, it's like if I'm like I cover One Piece because like One Piece is extremely popular, but if I only covered One Piece, I'd be screwed because people would go to, you know, all these other One Piece reviews because it's such an already established thing. That's why if you're only covering Dragon Ball Super, you're gonna have a hard time gaining subscribers that will comment as well, because Dragon Ball Super isn't particularly complex. So what happens is that a lot of the ideas that get thrown around about that tend to sound not even that they sound similar, but like they're always about the same exact thing. Like they're always about the big thing, right? Every video that you're seeing out now is usually about Ultra Instinct, right? So that's what happens, right? It's like oversaturated. So you're gonna have a hard time if you're putting out content about Ultra Instinct, getting views and getting people to talk. So I think what you should do, like if you have other manga that you're really interested in, put out content for that. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like, you know, I just keep adding things because that, like for me, that's organic. I love stuff. I love other things. You know, like I finished this Tokyo Ghoul and JoJo AMV on my channel, right? Like what Professor Pokey Geek is saying, you have to put out like certain types of content because like you'll draw certain people. You know, it's like certain things like that are really, really, really vital. And I think a lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people are like, you know, I'm gonna do one thing because I'm only passionate about one thing, and that's what I'm gonna do. And it's like, no, if you do that on YouTube, like you're gonna have a really hard time. Like if that's your goal, if your goal is to grow and to be a massive channel and stuff like that, you're gonna have a very, very, very hard time. Not only doing that in 2017, in the tail end of 2017, but onward. You know, so stuff like that. You know, stuff like that. Just like banners. I mean, my banner, I just like went to like this rando ass website and just like created the banner. You know, I'm like, and, I mean, it helps, but you also like you should definitely whatchamacallit, definitely do a, you know, if you want to create a, if you, I think you already have a banner, I feel like. But it's not necessarily about like the banner so much as it's just about your content. Your content is like king or queen, right? Like your content is like really important because it, you like I remember who was it? Uber Hikari didn't have a fucking banner at all. He didn't have a banner, and he got a whole bunch of subs because he had content. He has things that people were looking for. He did particularly analytical and critical reviews and critiques of the manga that he was reading, right? So, and the anime that he was watching. So stuff like that is like really important. Like you gotta focus on the content. Focus on the content. Really focus on the content and really focus on being on Twitter, chatting, you know, putting out tweets, liking other people's content, stuff like that, right? Are you interested in Dragon Ball videos? It's like, this is the thing, right? You have to expand. You gotta expand. It's not enough to talk about just Dragon Ball Super. If you want to grow more quickly, I guess, then it's not enough. Like you gotta like look for other stuff. Let me see. Where do you think I will be in a year, Manga? I don't know. I have no idea. I thought it'd take me like 2 years to get to 100 subscribers. Really. I thought it was gonna take me forever. You know what I mean? But partly because I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about getting 100 subs. I wasn't even thinking about getting 50 subs. I wasn't concerned about the number of subs, and I'm still not concerned about the number of subs. What I'm concerned about is talking to people, really talking to people about the stuff that I love, really talking to people about like, you know, and finding out what they like, you know what I mean? Whenever I do these streams and stuff like that, I want to know, what do y'all like? What are you interested in? You know, so that's why like I don't limit myself to manga or anime, or even comics and stuff like that. Like I like talking about music. I like talking about sports. I like talking about life. I like talking about, you know, race relations, stuff like that. Like I like that stuff. You know, so for me, like when you get into a stream like this, like you guys are people to talk about anything. You can talk about anything. You can talk about cartoons. You can talk about anything, and I want to talk about it because I'm always interested in learning more about stuff. You know, you can talk about cosplaying. You can talk about whatever. You know, I'm open. I'm pretty open to shit. You know, so that, and I think that's another thing, right? It's like, you know, when you are open to like having conversations, right? When you're open to those things, when you're open to befriending people, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be at 40 subs or even 30 subs if it wasn't for, you know, my friendships with like Dustin and Brago and and One Vision and Joseph Logan and you know what I mean, all these people, right? And Orpheus and like all these people. I wouldn't be anywhere in Brago and Lugar and Matt B and all these people. Like I wouldn't be fucking anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like you just keep growing. Yo, the Heart 96. What's good? You know, but like yo, we're just talking about you know, growing as like a YouTube channel and like things that you have to do to continue growing and everything like that. And I keep like saying it, but like the biggest thing is like make sure that like your content projects community. I think that's really important. I think that's what I really want to say. Like if it's a big thing, make sure your content promotes community. Because sometimes, right, like you want people to come to your content and be like, not only is this person saying something, but this person also wants to hear what I have to say about that something. That's big. That's big. You know, so like there are certain YouTubers who I think are much better about that than others. And I keep harping on like, you know, I keep harping on like Dustin. I keep harping on, you know, Brago. I keep harping on Mugiwara Matt B. I keep harping on, you know, people like that. And they're very good at you know, One Vision, people like that. Like they're very good at like opening themselves up to critique, to talking about the things that they love. That's a big thing. you have to be open to that. You got to be open to being like, yo, like I just want to shoot the breeze. I just want to talk. That's the thing for me. Like, and I keep saying this because like it was important for me in terms of life, just in terms of life. Like I wouldn't have my sub teaching license. I wouldn't have my sub teaching job. I wouldn't have I wouldn't be in my doctoral program. I wouldn't have my bachelor's degree. I wouldn't have my en route master's and things like that. I wouldn't have any of those things. I wouldn't have my I wouldn't like be with my fiance. I wouldn't still be in contact with my family. Like, all these things. I wouldn't have that if I wasn't someone who communicates, right? Like if I wasn't someone who was like, yo, let's talk. Let's have a good time. Let me like exude those vibes. Because like when you don't do that, it's like it's so much harder not only like for your channel to grow, but for people to want to grow with you. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. And you have to want that for other people, right? Like it's not only about you, right? Like if you watch a Yu Hakusho, you know that. You know what I mean? Like you know that. You remember that scene. You remember the scene with Genkai. It ain't about you. It ain't about you anymore, man. It's all about the countless number of people in your lives that care about you and that need you for their growth and that help you grow. This is a big thing. I think a lot of people don't get it. They don't get it, and they're like really focused on just like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, what, like, let's say like Geekdom, Chibi Reviews, for Neverworld, right? Like one of the reasons why they're so big and they've grown is because they're really good about being in contact. I think more so Chibi and for Neverworld, they're very good about staying in contact with their subs. They're very good about, like for Neverworld would say like, oh, I like Twitter's his favorite place because like he can stay in contact with people on Twitter. Same with like Chibi and people like that. They stay in contact with their people. I wouldn't say they're as good as like, a Dustin or anyone in our community or anything like that. I'm just saying that like that's something that they do. If they didn't do that, it'd be really hard for them. It'd be extremely difficult for them to grow. But what I will also say is that they started early. In some ways, like they're as big as they are. Like I would say Geekdom less so because he started much later, I think, than Chibi and for Neverworld. But like the reason why like those two are particularly large because like they started much earlier. They were on the ball. They kind of probably saw how YouTube could be used as a certain platform, right? Even like someone like a Double Four Anime, he has tons of subs. Why? Because he started early. He got on it. He started talking to people. You know what I mean? Things like that are important. It does like sometimes it doesn't matter if you're like a decent person or even if you give off good vibes. It's like, do you stay in contact? Let me see. Well, I just want to grow with my Dragon Ball. No. If you think about that, if you think about it that way, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt not only your channel's growth but your own growth. You have to think about it as like, I would want to talk about these things. If you have other anime and other manga and other things that you're into, talk about those things. Put out content on that too. You know what I mean? But I remember when I started my channel, all I wanted to do was review manga volumes, but it didn't work. It didn't work like that. And it's and for me, like it's not hard to stay in contact. Like it's not even so much staying in contact with all your subs, but staying in contact with the subs that contact you, because some of your subs like won't. Some of your subs will like, maybe they'll like things and maybe they'll comment every like once in a blue moon or something like that. But the ones like even those like when they comment back. When they hit you up on Twitter or something like that, like their tweets. You know what I mean? Stuff like that is really, really important. Because like I definitely have subs that don't comment on YouTube at all, but more so they comment and talk to me on Twitter. And like we have these conversations and stuff like that. So things like that are really, really, really important. Like I really believe that. So like your channel's only 2 days old, but like it's never too late to like work on growing things and work on making things better. Like I remember my channel was like, when I started my channel, I was just like, fuck, I just want to get these videos up. And I was just figuring out how to like start the channel. He is an anime reviewer on Boruto and Dragon Ball Super. Plus, for Neverworld would be honest and say an episode of shit. Yeah, right. It's like, right, like that's a big thing. Like me, I don't necessarily, watch too much of Neverworld's content. But I think partly that's because like, he doesn't cover too many things, right? So like if he has like an idea about something, it's not usually like, in the same sort of realm as like, let's say a Brago or Mugiwara Matt B or Dustin Reacts or whoever, because they're really, really like grappling with the text that they're reading. It's a little different. If you only watch Dragon Ball, like if that's like, like if that's like the God honest truth, then just keep doing what you're doing. Like if you, I would also suggest watch other anime, read other manga. If you're not like into reading manga, that's fine. People are into what they're into, But I think like, you really have to, you got to expand your horizons, and that's another thing. It's really important, Yeah. Though for anime is a review, but like he doesn't even really like review necessarily a lot of the things that he's like looking at. A lot of what he does is just be like, oh my god, this shit was awesome. This was cool. You know what I mean? And like a lot of what we do in this community is like we really like throw around ideas about what we're reading and how we think about it and what that means. And everything like that. You know what I mean? Like it's and what it means for like the future of the text and everything like that. So, keep doing that. Keep doing that. But I think that you might not have people that will tell you this. But like for me, a big thing when I want to say I figured this out when I was like, I figured out a lot of things when I was 20, 21. Maybe even earlier than that, maybe even 20, maybe even 19. But I would say 2021 was a big thing. Was that one? It's okay to like some of the things that you like, right? But it's also okay to like a lot of things, Yeah. It's like you gotta expand your horizons, man. That's the only way you grow. If you're only like interested in one particular thing, and I'll say this. This is kind of funny. This is something I deal with in academia all the time. You will meet individuals who are going for their PhD, and this is in English particularly, but you'll meet people who are going for their PhD and like they want to talk about Shakespeare nonstop. All they want to do is talk about Shakespeare. They're like, oh, this is Shakespeare, like, Shakespeare in its relation to this, Shakespeare in its relation to that. But they only really want to talk about Shakespeare. Even when you go out with them, you want to drink with them at a bar and stuff like that. All you want to talk about is Shakespeare because that's all they really know. They have a hard time having conversations about anything else because they don't fucking read anything else. And stuff like that. It's like, and sometimes in academia, it's like okay because you have a lot of people, academics who will foster that kind of obsession, and it's harmful not only to the progression of academia, but also just to the progression of those people. So let me see. For Neverworld does have some clickbait shit. Yeah, he has a lot of clickbait shit. Remember when there was like one video he put out recently, and he was like, no one was expecting this, and I'm like, everybody was fucking expecting that. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that like bothers me, because it's like, I am never gonna be like, oh, well, no, that's a lie, because I think there are a lot of YouTubers that I don't like. But I will never actively, throw shade at like a particular YouTuber, but I'm critiquing like just like a general thing that's going on, like clickbait or something like that, because there's so many of them that do it, right? But the thing that really gets to me is like particular YouTubers who are big, right? They have an incentive to do that. They it's almost like they have to because they want to keep making money, right? This is their careers. There's a difference. When YouTube is your career, you got to think differently, because if you don't, you're like, you will legit lose money, right? This is really important. And in like a capitalist society, right? In a neoliberal capitalist society, like money is fucking king. It is, so like anything that you're doing, right? Like even this channel for me, like it's like, yeah, I'm talking to people and I'm doing all this stuff, but like this is helping me grow as a person. And as it's helping me grow as a person, it's also allowing me to, be better in other fields and other things that I do. So things are always kind of connected to money in certain ways, right? Geekdom, I would say sometimes sometimes Geekdom gets on my nerves a little bit because like he will kind of half-heartedly critique something. Well, not something, but like Dragon Ball Super, and it's just like sometimes I can't watch the videos, or sometimes I feel like not that a video is a waste of time, but so much as if like a video is clearly like a way to make money, right? And the reason why I don't necessarily critique that too much is because they gotta make money. They gotta make money, right? Like so they have to be greedy. They gotta be, you know, they gotta be really, they gotta hustle extremely hard to maintain their income. There's a difference between just, you know, for me, I just do YouTube to talk to people, but when you have to like fucking, you know, create content to continue to make money, like I would never want that for myself, because that limits me in what I can do or what I could do. It bothers me. It bothers me in a way, and in some ways it's kind of sad. Like at least for me, like when sometimes I'm like, damn. But some people are all right with that. Some people are okay, are totally okay with that, and like they're like whatever. But for me, it's a little sad. Like I can never do that. I can never monetize my channel. I can never do that. Like wakagay, sometimes he gets on my nerves a little bit. Like some of his videos, is he the one that like will do those like Sage Mode explained or lightning style lightning chakra nature explained or whatever? And I'm like, videos like that, like maybe there are a ton of people that don't understand how lightning style works or how Sage Mode works, and they were reading Naruto, or they're reading Naruto now, and they're like, I didn't get it. Okay, you know, I don't know. It's like, you know, if they need those videos, then okay, you know, like or like Tekken would like have videos where he's just like, yo, I'm talking about all of the three admirals, or I'm gonna explain the Marines, or I'm gonna explain Haki, I'm gonna explain this pirate crew, I'm gonna explain CP9, I'm gonna explain, you know what I mean, like stuff like that, where it's like that stuff is like I used to think, oh, those videos are useless, but there are actually people out there. Maybe his subs have been asking him, do these videos, do those videos, and if that's the case, then like that's what he's gonna do. That's prerogative. So I can't get on people to like, you know, do that. Rogers base, I'll say this. The thing about YouTubers like Rogers base is they will try so hard to construct an image of themselves as someone who's like really down to earth and who's really about the people and is really interested in what others have to say and everything like that. And maybe at some level they are, but their egos stop them from doing that. Like this is a thing. Like it's like I like and so for me, I am not an individual that like if I'm in a space and I have the luxury of being like of stating my opinion, because you know sometimes you're in certain spaces and you can't say shit, right? Because that's your job. Like if that's your job, like I'm not gonna go to like a middle school or a PC program and be like, everybody fucking sucks, or all these people fucking suck. I'm not gonna do that, because then like that breeds like a hostility. It's not good for me. People might try to like, you know, push me out. I don't need that, because that's like where my income comes from. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fuck with that shit. So certain things like that, like I'm very careful about. But when it comes to like YouTube, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, like Rogers Base is Hitler or anything like that. No, because that's ridiculous, right? Like that's simply not true. But what I will do is be like, yo, like if someone you know, like on Twitter, I think in some ways, right, like Rogers Base sometimes is better on Twitter than he is on YouTube. In terms of like videos and stuff like that. Sometimes like Rogers Base will like tweet something, and sometimes I think some YouTubers are better on Twitter than they are on YouTube. But what I do think is that like a lot of YouTubers have this massive ego. They have an extremely massive ego, and they will, you know, they'll take their opinions as fact. You know, and even me, like I'm willing to have conversations with people. You know, maybe in one instance I might not like a YouTuber, but once I have a conversation with them or something like that, I might be like, hey, like, okay, I changed my mind a bit. Like maybe this person isn't so bad or something like that. You know what I mean? Things like that happen all the time. You have to be open to that. You have to be open to conversations. You know, but at the same time, like I'm not like, you know, I'm not like going out of my way to be like, I gotta be in this stream, I gotta be in that stream. I want to be in streams with people that I vibe with. I want to be in streams with people that like, you know, teach me something or get me excited to talk about particular things. You know what I mean? That's why like I like going into Brago streams, Dustin streams, One Vision, Orpheus, like people like that. Like I like going on those streams because they're fun. They're just fun streams. You talk about all the things, so stuff like that. Let me see. But seriously, Anime Boy, like it's just like expand your horizons, man. I'm telling you. It's not. This is not just about YouTube. This is like life shit. Like life shit. You have to expand your interests, because if you don't, it's gonna be really difficult for you to, like again, right, to grow as a person, but to also like make connections with other people, right? People don't like this is a general thing. People don't like others that aren't into the shit that they're into. This is a very general thing. I met a ton of people like if I couldn't talk to someone about Shakespeare, that person that's really into Shakespeare, if I couldn't talk about Shakespeare, we wouldn't be able to connect at all, right? Because all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, you don't like Shakespeare? Well, they wouldn't want to talk to me, but because like I went through, I got an English BA, like I took like a bunch of classes that were on Renaissance literature and 17th century literature and like solely Shakespeare, like stuff like that. Like I can do that, right? Like there are things that like, have helped me in a way, like connect with people that I normally wouldn't connect with because they may not be into the shit that I'm into outside of Shakespeare. So you really got to expand your horizon, and you have to do that even more so like as you get older. Sometimes in high school it's real easy because everybody's into the same shit, and a lot of people are into the same shit in high school, and you might find like a super a following, like just like friends and stuff like that, and maybe you'll stay connected to those friends, but you can't limit yourself to like one circle, can't limit yourself to one circle, I think. But let me think. But yeah. It's not that, right? It's not like Rogers Base isn't funny or anything like that, or whatever. It's just that, like you can, when like swaths of people tell you, yo, I don't like your ego, I don't like you, or you make me feel like my opinion doesn't matter. That's important. Like that's important to me. If I like, if enough of your viewers telling you, I don't know, man, this guy's a little too into himself, that's a bad sign. It means like you need to like actually go out of your way to really think about like, why is this happening? Why do they think that? How can I talk with these people? How can I like, be better, or change something that might not be working or whatever. You got to be able to do that stuff. Your interest with JoJo, yeah, JoJo's phenomenal. JoJo's another one. Like if you get into JoJo, you find a ton of people to talk to about JoJo. It's stuff like that. You should do that. Be a JoJo YouTuber. Anytime, like, and that's another thing. A lot of people will give you bits of advice that are like, wait, don't do this, don't do that. But like sometimes the best thing to do is just to do the thing, make a video. I had a guy on Twitter that I talked to in one of the Hunter x Hunter groups, and he was like, he wanted to do a video on on the relationship of Killua and Gon, and like, I don't know if he's done that video yet. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like, for me, like, it might have taken me a long time to create this channel, but then I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And then I just did it. I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna start. And I'm so glad I did. But yeah, like it's like, and like, right, and like this is the thing, right? Some YouTubers think they're the shit because one, their subs tell them they're the shit. So they take that as like the golden, like the like not the golden, but like they take that as like, straight facts. And then they like it grows, right? The more stuff they have, the more people that are telling them, yo, you're the shit, you're amazing, you're incredible. Yo, you might as well be Beyonce or Common or Angela Davis or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they will take that and they will roll with it. Like some of these YouTubers be on some like Mill Tank rollout shit. You know what I mean? Like they just start rolling with it, and just more like the ego just stronger and stronger. You know what I mean? It happens. And with that, like some YouTubers are like, and again, like I said this in I think yesterday's stream, some people are okay with YouTubers having that ego. I'm not. This is not something, let me see. Sometimes I make AVs, but I'm starting to get bored. Yeah. Do whatever you want, man. Do whatever you want. Make whatever you want. You know, it's like, is the anime YouTube community too saturated now, as in too hard for new startups? No, I don't think so. I think yes, if you have particular goals, if you want to make money off of it, like in the way that like a Geekdom or a Writer's Base or something like that, like is, or if an Everworld or whatever, then it'll be much harder. If you just want to make content and you just want to talk to people, like for me, I don't feel like it's saturated because I have like a space where I can talk to about people about stuff. I'm happy. I am completely happy with where it is. Now, let's say if my channel grows and it keeps growing, like what's the word I'm looking for? Passively, then like, okay. But I'm not actively going out of my way to like gain like 100,000 subs or anything like that. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Why? Because the things that I'm like doing, like in terms of income, are not necessarily connected to my YouTube channel. And it has to be like that for me because once something becomes about income, sometimes it skews how you're able to move, what you're able to do, and the freedom that you have to do that. You know, so for me, like that freedom is really important on YouTube. It's really important for me to like be able to like make content, to say things, to start live streams, to talk about whatever I want to talk about, to do all those things, and not worry about whether my channel is going to make me money or whatever, whether I have to like change certain things for, you know, YouTube and shit like that. Nah. You know, stuff like that. You know, it's just like you gotta spread your shit. But like you like a lot of these YouTubers, like they have their circle, they have their like subs, and they'll just listen to subs. They'll be like, oh, but my subs like, my subs think I'm fucking phenomenal. My subs thinks I'm incredible. You know, and maybe even the people in their lives are also doing similar things. Like, oh, you're a good person. It doesn't matter. Keep doing what you're doing. But it's like, nah. Like if I had people in my life that keep saying like, you're an incredible person. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But never criticize me on anything. Like I'd be I have the biggest fucking ego. You know, I have the biggest fucking ego. I really would. But I don't, because I have people in my life that one, support me, you know, that keep me even keeled, that you know, tell me that you know, I'm doing the right things by them when I'm doing the right things by them, but also tell me when I need to like shape up, That's important. You need people in your life that do that shit. If you don't have that, you'll see people and you'll meet them and you'll be like, they don't have those people in their lives that are like really getting on them. They don't. Or if they do, they're not listening. And that's a sign of an even bigger ego. You know, that's when you really got trouble. When you have someone who like has those people in their lives, but they're not listening to those people. Bullshit. Let me see. I did some gaming, Pokemon Dragon Ball Super, and I got a lot of reviews. Yeah, it's just like keep doing stuff. Someone just disliked my video. One like, one dislike. It's okay. You might get dislikes. You know, all these YouTubers have people like, some of these YouTubers have like a ton of likes, but they have like a bunch of dislikes. Some of them have like 100 dislikes, 200 dislikes, you know, 50 dislikes. That stuff doesn't matter like so much as like the comments. When people comment, that's when you know it's like, oh, like, right? And like you have to be able to discern what comments like really matter and what don't. Some people are just trolls, and you'll be able to see what troll comments are. But like some people really say like, hey man, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that, you know? So yeah, let me see. You know, let me see. That's facts, man. If you always surround yourself with the same stuff and the same opinions, you're never going to grow, learn anything new. You won't. You know, for me, like if I was still like the same kid that I was in high school, I would never be into. I'd never be into manga and anime in the way that I am now. I'd never be into music in the way that I am now. I'd never be into dance in the way that I am now. I love dance. Like dance is phenomenal. I'd never be into that in the way that I am now. I'd never be into you know, food and making food in the way that I am now. Like there's just certain things like you need to talk with other people. You need to like let people help you grow. If you're not, you're gonna be real stagnant. You're not gonna have you might be interested in maybe one, maybe two things, and that's it. And like it makes it harder for you to talk to other people. You know? You ever see those people? You ever go to a party? You ever go to a party and like you ever see people like sometimes it's not even people on the wall, because sometimes people like that are wallflowers are just wallflowers, it's just like in their temperament. But sometimes it's because they don't have anything to say, or they don't know how to ingratiate themselves with other people. One, because they're not interested in a bunch of things. They might be interested in one thing. And if they're only interested in one thing, then they can only talk about the one thing. And if they're only talking about the one thing, then they're gonna have a really hard time talking to people at the party. You gotta be, you don't have to be a jack of all trades or anything like that. And that's, you don't have to be like that crazy, but like you don't even need to aspire to that. What you should just do is just be like, I'm interested in this thing and that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing. And that's okay. People are interested in a lot of shit. Plus I hate YouTubers that think they are the shit. Yeah, I hate them. But no. I'm gonna say I hate them, because hate's a strong word. I would say like they just rub me the wrong way. You know, and again, I keep telling people it's like it's a vibe. Like vibes are really important. A lot of people be like, nah, vibes, fuck vibes. Vibes are really important, y'all. Vibes are really important. For me, like my gut feeling, it's like if I got a gut feeling and I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't know. You know, like let's say with someone like a Rogers base, you know, my gut feeling's like, I don't know, you know, because like that's my gut feeling. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. That's how I feel about, you know, how people like put themselves forward. You know. See, plus I like anime. Most anime YouTubers like Akaderis and the Anime Man. Yeah. They are alright, but their review criticism. Well, what do you mean? Do you mean that you, Professor Poker Geek? What do you mean? Do you mean that you like Akaderis and the Anime Man? And if you do, that's fine. I mean, like, I don't watch a lot of their content. I used to like, you know, check them out to see what they were doing. But like, now I'm not so interested, because like, sometimes it just, you know, I just don't care. You know, and it's okay. It's okay to not care about someone's content. Like if their content is not like pulling you, that's fine. Is that Tyrone Magnus? Oh yeah. I watch sometimes I'll watch like his reactions to things. But really, I'm just watching the video. You know, you ever do that? You ever watch someone's reaction stuff and you're just watching the video? So no, so you don't like Akideris and the Anime Man, and if you don't, then like I don't mind. Like it's like, and like there are reasons for that. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's vibes, and it's sometimes things that people say. My thing is there are things that like I have sort of zero tolerance for, right? And like, you know, like ego is something I have zero tolerance for. It's one of those things that really pisses me off. I have zero tolerance for ego. I don't like it. I'll keep saying it. I don't like it. It bothers me because there are other people with egos who will excuse egos like for each other, right? It's almost like a circle jerk, you know? It's almost like, oh, you got an ego, I got an ego too. Let's both stroke our egos, right? It's like, come on, man. It's like you're ridiculous. Like it's like shit like that really gets on my nerves. And I think maybe the Anime Man, maybe Akidera started off as like, you know, really cool and you know, people who talk with one another. But like I said, when you reach a certain point and your space becomes about money and monetizing and growing and everything like that, it hurts you. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Something will change. Something will change. You know, I think like even now, right? It's like, you know, when you know, I had to think about what I wanted to do in terms of, you know, like my PhD program and like what I wanted to do and how, like what career, like my career path, because it was like, I got to a point where I was like, I didn't want to read books, right? Like, this is weird. Like you like, oh, like this guy's doing a PhD in English and he doesn't want to read books. You'd be surprised how many people are in PhD programs in English and don't want to fucking read books. Like they just be like, yeah, fuck it, man. I just want to watch something. I just want I just want to write. Maybe they want, they might want to continue to write, but reading is like, sometimes it's just a fucking chore because it's like stuff that you don't necessarily want to read. You imagine just be like, fuck, and and it's stuff like that. And like, and then it became like, oh, I gotta do this because I gotta make money. So what I had to do was like change my perspective. Like, how do I make this about the enjoyment of reading and writing and doing the research, but making sure that my career path is like not necessarily connected to that particular the stuff that I'm reading and writing research and everything like that. Like, right, not necessarily, or it's not. I'm not wholly invested in that in a monetary way. You really gotta do that shit. Like, you can be an anime YouTuber, but it reaches a certain point, right? Yeah. There's a way you can do that, but I think that most YouTubers that do that, like that are pretty big, don't do that in a honest sort of way. Like, they know what they need to do. Do you think for a YouTube channel you should be focused on one area or topic? Or can you be diverse? Have a range of topics. Definitely. Because people, I think, like, especially if you're starting out, right? I think when people start out, have a range of topics. If you focus on one thing, that can help too, but I think having a range of topics is better. It's better for people, but it's better for you. I keep harping on this. It's better for you as a person, for your development, for your growth. Have a range of topics. For me, I want my YouTube channel to be an extension of myself. I don't want it to just be like, I'm doing this thing, trying to make that money, looking at all the analytics. How can I make more money? How can I get more subs? How can I do this thing? Like, nah, that's not me, yo. That's not me. I rarely do I look at my analytics. Rarely do I look at my analytics. Rarely do I think about how do I get more subs? How do I do this thing? How to do that thing? Because that's not what this is about. This is about just talking to people. So, I just put out content that like people can talk with me about. So when I do stuff like this, that's what. Look at the title of this fucking video. The title of this video is not about fucking clickbait. It's just, let's just talk about more stuff, right? Like, it's nothing to do with tagging all these stupid things and doing all this stuff. It's just, let's just talk about shit. That stream was great because it was about One Piece, and we started talking about other stuff, and we started, you know what I mean? Like, I like streams like that. I like streams that are very, stream of conscious, right? Where it just moves, just like, hey, like, I'm thinking about this thing. Let's talk about this thing. Now I'm thinking about this thing. Let's talk about this thing. I like stuff like that. That's why, I love, like a Matt B stream or a Braga stream so much, or a Dustin stream so much, because we just kind of move towards things. We talk about different things because we're all, like, I think, well-rounded in different ways, right? So we can talk about, like, we can shoot the breeze about music. We can shoot the breeze about politics. We can shoot the breeze about manga. We can shoot the breeze about anime. We can shoot the breeze about food, whatever, and shit like that, and life and everything. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I think a lot of YouTubers can't do that, right? Like, if you go on like some of these YouTuber streams, they only want to talk about like particular things that like they put out because because sometimes that's all that they can talk about, or they realize that if they talk about anything else, they won't make money that way. They're connected to like not connected, but they're dependent on the particular topics that they have to talk about because those topics are connected to their money. That's how they make their income. That's never going to be me. I forgot to say congrats on 100 subs. Yo, thanks a lot, off screen order. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, it's like this is like my only concern is I have more people to talk about stuff with. I'm like more people to talk about stuff with, more people to like do streams with, more people to do shoot the breeze with, and everything like that. It's cool. Like Rice Gum, Jake Paul. I don't hate them, but their actions are messing with. Jake Paul is I don't give a shit about Jake Paul. Rice Gum, I don't give a shit about him either. I'll say this. My thing for me is like it's not even so much. Sometimes it's not even so much the content. It's just like Jake Paul to me is like scumbag. He's a scummy dude, and he's consistently shown himself to be a scummy dude. So I don't fuck with Jake Paul. I don't fuck with his channel. I don't do anything like that. Rice Gum, in some ways similar, right? Like Rice Gum is another like person who like probably was like a fucking regular dude, and then the fame, you know, now he thinks he's Drake. You know, now he thinks he's Beyonce. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. Like, it gets to your head. Anyway, when you see that happen to people, it's kind of scary, you know, which is damage YouTube, honestly. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of these people on YouTube have definitely like damaged YouTube and definitely changed what it could be, what it was, and everything like that. And like, you know, if you want to make money, like, yes, that's important, and you have to think about that. And I will never tell anybody whose career is YouTube to like change what they're doing necessarily, because it'll probably fuck with their money and whatever standard of living that they're accustomed to. You know, them changing like certain content and things like that will affect their money and will change it, and adversely will change their standard of living. And I'm not gonna tell them. I'm not gonna tell nobody change that shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard. The fame goes to your head, and it always comes down to the money. That's why, like, I made it a thing. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that like whatever it is that I'm doing, it's like when I decided like what I was gonna do for like for jobs, for like for money, for work, for stuff like that, I always made sure that like I said, you know what? If I'm being paid, I'm gonna be getting paid to help people. So when I'm getting paid to do sub teaching, like I'm getting paid to like help middle school kids move forward. I'm getting paid to help middle school kids of color move forward. When I'm doing my doctoral stuff, like part of my fellowship is mentoring students of color. You know what I mean? Like brilliant fucking students of color. You know what I mean? And just help them move forward and help them figure out what the fuck they want to do and get into MA programs or PhD programs if they want to. You know what I mean? And if they don't want to, then like I'll have private conversations with them, because like my program, you know, kind of frowns upon like being like, hey, you don't have to do this thing, you don't have to do that thing. But like I have private conversations with my students all the time. I'm just like, yo, like, what do you want to do? How do you want to move forward? How do you want to grow? What are your actual goals? That's my thing. That's what I want to do. But I would never do that like on YouTube and be like, yo, you know, I'm gonna be Tony Robbins or anything like that. You know, nah. You know, you have so tell me what my next video should be. You have most Viners like them, Amanda McCarthy, are damaging them a small. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm a mechanic. I repair cars. Yo, that like you're helping people. You're helping people make moves. Like one of my friends, Ricardo, like he repairs cars. You know, like he does it. He's an auto mechanic, right? Like he's like, and he enjoys like doing that. Like, you know, so far as like working on cars and stuff like that, and like working on his own car, and everything like that. He loves that shit. You know, and you could see it. You could see it like whenever he talks about cars. That's good shit. You know, if that's something you want to do, if you want to, let's say, like start up your own like mechanic like business or something like that, or you know, auto shop, or whatever. That's a dream of my friend Ricardo's. Like he wants to start up his own auto shop, and he wants to like employ people, you know, who are in similar situations like him and everything like that. That's good shit. I don't tell anybody like, yo, if people are trying to help other people move up and do positive things for like the communities and stuff like that, yo, props. You know, all props to you, anime boy. All props to you for that shit. I gotta go back to college next year and get my shit together. Yo, man, let me tell you something. When I graduated high school, this was in 06. I graduated high school in 06, right? And then I ended up going to summer school. Like I didn't graduate until like late July or something like that, right? Or mid-July, something like that. And that's where I met two of my best friends. I met two of my best friends. One of them was Ricardo, and like, you know, we just like I wasn't doing shit. All I did was skate. I skateboarded for like 3 or 4 years for a while, like starting at that in 06. So I skated up until maybe 2009, 2010. And then I just stopped, right? And but I think what happened was like, you know, I graduated from high school with my diploma. Then what I did was, you know, I said, okay, like I took like maybe like a year or something like that, because I had missed the registration for community college because like my grades weren't good enough to get to a 4-year. So what I did was, I said, okay, you know, I waited a year. Then I went to a community college. Then I registered. Then I like I eventually like basically kind of like flunked out for for a semester. Like basically like my GPA was too low. All I did was play pool all day. So what I did, so then after that, my dad basically was like, yo, either you gotta try to go back to school or you gotta work. So I started working because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. So I just started working. So I started doing supermarket shit for the next like 3 years, right? Basically. And I worked at a place. I worked at like a supermarket, and for a good like 3 years. And then at one point, one of my friends was like, "Yo, Danny, what's going on, man? Like, are you ever gonna go back? Are you ever gonna go back to school?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm planning to go back to school." And one of my friends, both, and one of them was Ricardo. He was like, "Yo, it's been like 2.5 years since you went back to school." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even realize that it had been 2.5 years. I didn't realize this shit at all. Like time just flew by. I was like getting in the supermarket drama. I was, I had some friends that I was hanging out with in the supermarket and stuff like that. I was just invested in that. Like, and like I didn't realize that like I wasn't growing like really. What I did do is that I started reading books again. In like the latter half, like that sort of last year and a half that I was there, I started reading books again. And that was like the best thing I ever did because it like really like, showed me like, hey, like I really love books. Like, and I read books when I was a kid too. I read books all the time, but then I just stopped before I got to high school. I just stopped reading books. And then I got back into it. And then I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go back to school. So I went back to school in community college and I majored in English and the rest is really basically like history. Like, oh no, I still had to work because for whatever reason, like, the income that I was making at the supermarket that I worked at, because I was like doing like basically like 40+ hour work weeks, and I was making a little bit too much so that I didn't qualify for a grant for a grant for them to pay for my school. So I still had to pay for school. So I still had to work at a supermarket. So then I moved somewhere else because they had cut my hours. Because I was going back to school. So then I had to go to a different supermarket, that was paying me a bit more. And then I could sort of like pay for classes and everything like that. But then that's when I really had to hustle because I had to figure out, whoa, like, how can I make these moves? And then when I realized that like, oh, like there were like these fellowships out there and programs that would give me a stipend and stuff like that, then I said, fuck it, I gotta like go do that shit. I'm not trying to like do manual labor for the rest of my fucking life. Like me, that wasn't my goal. Like not manual labor, but just like supermarket manual labor. That's a difference, right? That's a difference from like being a mechanic or architect or construction work or anything like that, because like you're building like these like you it's different work. But I wasn't gonna fucking like stock fucking shelves of food and shit like that and like clean shit and do all that shit for the rest of my fucking like order product for the rest of my life. I wasn't gonna do that. So I got into this program that was at my school, and basically like that allowed me to sort of like, bulk up my sort of academic resume enough that I could get a job tutoring at a writing center for students. Like, so I tutored like, I still tutor, like I still do that. Less than fewer hours than I used to, but like I still do it because like I enjoyed it. So stuff like that. It's just like, yo, you gotta, it like once you start really hustle and once you really start to like make particular connections, the ball really starts rolling, and all of a sudden, like one connection leads to another connection leads to two connections lead to four connections lead to eight connections lead to 16 connections, and so on and so forth. That's really what you got to do. You gotta go. Let's see. Let's see. Well, Brago, what's good? Just like Jace Paul and Ricecum fanboys. Yeah, I mean, like I don't like him. It's not for me. What's good, man? It's me. You're welcome. Sparky, where's your respect? I don't really care about stuff like that. Like, it's like when you if you're a troll, you're a troll. Like, I'm not gonna acknowledge you. You know what I mean? Outside of just being like you're a troll. After that, it's like whatever, fuck it. So I'm just gonna keep talking about what I'm talking about. But Braga, okay, right. So basically, yeah. So once I got into the fellowships and I got my writing center job and I like actually was like set up and I could like, and I had an income, you know what I mean? To like get me through school, then I could say, oh, I'm gonna apply to this I'm applying this PhD program because people were starting to tell me like, hey, like, you've done a lot of things. You like your grades are great. You've written these papers. You've done this work. Apply to a PhD program because in PhD program, like if you're going to a good one, they're gonna pay you. They're not gonna pay you like a ton, but like it'll be enough to like, let's say like I was like living with my parents at the time, so like I could like stack up some bread. I could stack up some money. I could go to this PhD program, get paid. You know what I mean? Look for other work and shit like that. Like think about what I want to do in the future. And then eventually I met my fiance and now we have like a joint income. So like shit works out. That's what I'm trying to tell all y'all. Yeah, okay. Poker Geek, I'm just trying to grow on YouTube with a 2 days old channel, 21 subs. Yo, you have a 2 day old channel, you have 21 subs. I don't want to hear no more complaints. Because some people, including myself, right? Sometimes it takes them a long time to get like 10 subs. Sometimes it takes them a long time to get 5 subs. It's hard out here, especially if they're like, right. And especially if you're trying to like grow, like for money and things like that. And like, income and try to make connections, stuff like that. Like it's extremely difficult to be like, damn, like I only have this many subs. But for me, I'm like, whatever. It's not a big deal for me. Took me about a month, right? Like it takes a minute, yo, Brago, tell him. Yo, tell him, Brago, tell him. It takes a minute. It takes a minute. I don't watch other anime. Yo, I'm telling you, watch other anime, right? If you don't watch other anime and you're like, oh man, I can only talk about this one thing, then that's like, right, like you have to work on incorporating more things into your repertoire, right? It's like if you got a job, like that's like I like right for my PC, right? It's like if I walked in and I was like, I have no idea how to apply for a conference, right, to present a paper or something like that. When I like my first year, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in that sense. I wasn't necessarily sure how to make connections with professors and everything like that. That shit was hard. But I talked with people and I made connections, and then like, eventually I was like, how can I go to this conference? Who can I talk to set up like a road trip? How can or travel, travel funds or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you have, like those are things you have to do. You have to make connections. Like one thing you have to learn is like, gotta be an adult. You gotta be an adult, right? And this is not like, right. This is not to say like to be an adult you have to like watch more anime or manga or anything like that. But what I am saying is like to grow, right? In a similar way that you have like to grow as an adult, you have to expand your repertoire. You have to be willing to learn things that you're unable to do at a particular moment in time. When you're watching anime, and you only watch one anime or read one manga, like if you want, your channel to grow quickly, one of the best ways to do that is to talk about multiple things. If you want to stick to Dragon Ball Super, I mean, like, and that's what you want to do, and you're like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna stick to Dragon Ball Super. Like, I mean, I there's nothing more that I can tell you in that sense, right? Because that's what you're gonna do. That's your prerogative, But you say the moment I will get bigger, I will expand my channel. That's the wrong way to think. Right? It's like once, like, right? Because what you could think about it, like, you could think about it as once I expand my channel, I will grow bigger and I'll grow faster. That's how you kind of want to think about it. Yo, it's great. 21 subs in 2 days. That's great. That is great, especially in the market, right? In the anime manga market that you're in the DB super market. That's phenomenal. It's really good. Like, don't get down on yourself, man. Don't get down on yourself. That's really, really good. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you want to stick to Dragon Ball Super for now, that's cool, but you would also grow faster if you watch more anime, read more manga, expand your content, because then people will want to come to your channel for things. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. Stuff like that is really, really good. That's why, like, for me, it's like I don't just talk about one thing. Because like that's not me as a person. It wouldn't reflect who I am. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, guys. Just gotta go get this mail. All right, we back, yo. We back, yo. Just had some mail. Got left it at the door. But yeah, like what I was saying, just keep growing. Keep what anime should I watch? Watch whatever you want. You can definitely get like tips and stuff. Yo, thanks the Heart 96 for the congrats. You know, it's cool. Like I never thought I'd get to 100 subs. Honestly, but like I said, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just like, I just want to talk with people. I didn't even realize that I was close to 100 until someone said, "Yo, you're close to 100." And I was like, "What?" like I was like, "What?" I thought it was still at like 50 or something like that. But yeah, watch whatever you want, man. Look at like the catalog and see like what would interest you. If it was up to me, personally, I would say start with either JoJo or Hunter x Hunter. I think those two are really good anime to get like a lot of people into. Like in terms of like a sort of gateway anime, like if I were to call it anything, they're good gateway anime. I'm not sure if do y'all know if Dustin is streaming yet? Because I know he said he wanted to stream. I'm not sure if he's streaming now. I think he's gonna stream at 5 Central, so at like 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna probably end the stream at 6, and then we'll get to and then we can like hop into Dustin's stream or whatever. But yeah, like shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, tell me anime I never heard of. Only Attack on Titan. But even then, people will tell me like people will suggest anime or manga to me that I'd never heard of, and like I'll start reading them and I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. Like this is great. That's the thing, right? It's like it's the same thing with books. When I really got into books, like I loved like fantasy, sci-fi stuff, like choose your own adventure, like children's books, like stuff like that. I love that shit. You know what I mean? That's all I read. Like all I read was that. But then eventually people were like, yo, go read this stuff, go read that stuff, go read some nonfiction, go read some classics, go read those things. And like I've read so many fucking books, and a lot of them I liked and some of them I didn't like, and like it's the thing, right? It's like a lot of the stuff that I've read, people have told me, yo, go read that. Go read that. Go read that. Go read that. You gotta expand your shit. It's like, you want to know why I started with Dragon Ball Channel? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, tell us. But I will say, like, Hunter x Hunter is good. JoJo's great. My Hero Academia definitely. Really expand your shit. Assassination Classroom. I always tell people like, start with some Weekly Shonen Jump stuff because that's like those are great gateway things. Anime or manga to get into. Weekly Shonen Jump is very good about that. If you're at all interested in any like shoujo stuff or josei stuff, you can always get into some stuff like that too. There's the great stuff in there too. And I tell people like, yo, expand your shit. There's a lot of seinen too. Expand your shit. Hunter x Hunter anime of the decade. I mean it's fantastic. Yeah, I read a lot of Mark Twain. Yo, Mark Twain's the shit. The Prince and the Pauper, Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court, Joan of Arc, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer. There's a lot of shit. Twain is great. Mark Twain's great. And I read a lot of manga. I mean, I read a lot of like classics. Like classics are like, I think like the one thing I like about classics is I tell people like if you can read a classic, you can pretty much read anything. Like a classic. If you can read a classic text, doesn't matter if it's American, English, French, German, right? And I mean translated, right? Like Russian, doesn't matter. If you can read any one of those things, like modern, like a modernist text, like you can read fucking anything. Doesn't matter. You can go into anything. Lovecraft, you know what I mean? Douglas Adams, I don't think what else. C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, George R.R. Martin, Octavia Butler, Neil Hopkinson, Toni Morrison. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit out there. James Baldwin. How the fuck do I forget about James Baldwin? You know what I mean? Like, there's all this shit. It's all the shit you could read, and they're all different. They're all doing really incredible things. So there's a lot of shit out there. Sandra Cisneros. You know what I mean? It's like there's so much shit out there. But you know what I mean? Like, but I can already tell you my next video was DBF. That's fine. I'm not saying like, you know, stop making deep Dragon Ball Super content. I'm saying if you continue to make Dragon Ball Super content, but also like, you know, maybe you want to throw out some live streams where you talk about an anime that you're just recently watching or something like that. You know, it's just like stuff like that. You know, there's so much shit out there, yo. Books, manga, anime. You know, and like that's why I tell people it's like if you're only doing one thing, right? It's like if you look at like Braga, right? Like Braga like covers One Piece, but he also talks about like some other manga, and he also talks about like a whole bunch of shit in his streams, right? Like he could like switch from like, you know, manga to sports to music to politics, all sorts of shit. Like, and that's right. That's why people come to his streams. Not only that, right, because like he can talk about a whole bunch of shit, you know. Well, that's the thing, right? Like that people gravitate towards that. You know, people gravitate towards that, right? Like, yeah, like I'm reading Black Clover, and I love Black Clover. Like, it's great. It's a fun manga. It's just a fun manga, you know. I'll keep reading it. Let me see. Could all gods defeat Zeno? I don't know. You know, like I have no idea. But I'll watch your video and then I'll have a better idea, right? Like that. Yeah. So that's kind of the point. But I think I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Expand your shit. You know, watch more anime, read more manga, read more books, watch more TV shows, watch different types of YouTube videos, whatever it takes. Talk to different people. That's a big thing too. And sometimes it's harder when you're younger to talk to different people. Because I remember when I was like, when I was younger, when I was like 18, something like that, that shit was extremely difficult for me to like talk with different people because like I didn't have the confidence to talk about some of the things that I was into. I was like heavy into dance when I was 18, 19. I was heavy into dance. I love dancing. I'll consider myself to be a dancer. And like, you know what I mean? Like I love all that shit. But it was hard. It was hard for me to talk to people about it. One, because people are like, yo, that's sus. You gay. Whatever. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like what am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna like let other people dictate like my interests. I'm gonna let other people like tell me I can't be interested in dance because they're who they are. Like no, like it's like no, like I like my shit, you know. So stuff like that, you gotta have the confidence to be into what you're into, and have the confidence to talk with other people who may be interested in that stuff. You gotta keep going. Braga, what does it take to get into the Streams YouTube channel? Yeah, Braga, yo, let them Goldie Abbas know what it takes. But if I watch other anime, I gotta watch all seasons. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can always pause. You can always just stop watching an anime like midway. I do that all the time. I'd be like, yo, like Made in Abyss. I started watching that. I stopped watching that like pretty quickly. You know, just because like one, I got bored. Two, I didn't really have the time. And maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I won't. But I'm not losing sleep over that. You know, I'm not losing sleep over whether I finish Made in Abyss or not. You know, that shit ain't affecting my money. That shit isn't affecting my relationship. That shit isn't affecting my relationship with my family, with my friends, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you can, like if someone's like, you gotta finish this thing, like, yo, that person needs to like, you know, go stand in the corner, calm down, and then come back to you when like they're not acting like a baby, right? Like, come on, yeah, yeah, just like yo, like, and that's another thing, right? Like with live streams, it's like whenever I do live streams, I always say like, yo, like if anyone wants to come through and talk in the live streams, I always say like, hey, like anybody want me to put out a Hangouts link? You can put out a Hangouts link. You know, like if you want me to put out a Hangouts link now, I can put out a Hangouts link and we could like shoot the breeze about whatever. You know, like I don't mind because like I could talk all day, but I also like talking with other people. You know, and hearing what they have to say about some of the stuff that I have to say. You know, so it's not a fucking you know, vacuum. When I watch a harem, the woman guck at the guy because they think he's handsome or have sex with him. Yeah, it's just like harem manga and anime bore me to tears because you know generally how it's going to pan out, right? And I think the thing that bothers me is like harem manga are really, really kind of, I don't know. They bother me because they can only end up with one person, usually, right? And all these other characters, right? And particularly if it's like one guy and then all these women, and all these other women are just like they're gonna be fucked, right? Like and mainly because not only are they not gonna end up with the protagonist, but because they're not gonna really have any sort of growth that's like particularly important or anything like that. They're just gonna kind of be like, I want to grow because I love this person, because I love this one person, and then if I don't get this person, all my growth goes out the fucking window and blah blah blah. I don't have any interest in that shit. I don't. Nah. So I stopped reading harem and harem manga and watching harem anime. I remember trying to read Nisekoi, and I was like, that shit is garbage. Like I not garbage, but like this wasn't very good. Like I got bored because like it's just similar things over and over and over. I just got bored, so I stopped watching it and stopped reading it. And yeah, but let me see something. Yeah, go ahead. Let me see. But yo, I keep telling people, man, you gotta grow. You don't want the main character to gravitate to other guys. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You don't want the main character to gravitate to other guys. Do you mean like if like the protagonist is a guy and like they like another guy? Is that what you mean? Or if the protagonist is a girl and they like another and they like a boy or something like that? Oh, the lollies? Yeah, that shit's mad creepy. It's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird. Right? And you heard about that shit with the author of Rurouni Kenshin. I mean, like we already knew that the fucking anime manga community was sus as hell, right? Like there are reasons, like there's no reason for you to right, like there's no reason for you to write like to draw them like that, and to, unless there's like an issue culturally, right, with how you view children. Right, like shit like that, like sauce. You know what I mean? Like yo, what's good, Shadow Dank? Sus, man. That's what I'm gonna say about that. I know how I feel about that shit. Harem anime needs to limit or expand themselves. Well, I don't even think there's like a nest like I think what would work for harem anime is like if you had multiple, let's say, characters that like the protagonist, and then throughout the harem anime, it evolves into characters growing in relationships with other people. That would be cool. I would like to see that. I don't know what to do. I got the feeling, make videos or other anime or just stick to travel. Do whatever you want, man. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, anime boy. Do whatever you want. And I'm saying that because it's like, right? Ultimately, it always comes down to you making a decision. Yo, incest is mad gross, man. I'm like, nah. I don't fuck with none of that incest shit. Nope. It's just fucking weird. I mean, but and then people are like, Japanese culture is their culture. You can't tell them what to do about their culture. I'm like, yo, but there's shit that's like universal. Universally, incest is a problem. Universally, seeing children as like sexual objects is a problem. Universally, child trafficking and shit like that like is a problem. You know what I mean? Like it's like shit like that. Like whenever you hear a guy, and it's usually a guy telling you, oh, you can't judge them on the sus shit that they do because that's their culture. Are you kidding me, man? Are you killing me? Like really? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Don't come to me with that bullshit. Please do not. There were certain things, yeah, where it's like if let's say like if like culturally like let's say an individual like or a group of people like pierce their ears and like stretch them out. I ain't gonna say shit about that because that ain't hurting nobody. You know what I mean? Like who cares, right? But like certain things like universally are a problem, right? And just like in terms of like right in terms of the human condition, in terms of what it means for like the psychological development of individuals and stuff like that. Nah, man, nah, nah. You know, stuff like that is crazy. I like, what was it? I think it was I can't remember who it was. I think it was Stebo, and he like shared a conversation that was like fucking insane. And we were just like, yo, what the fuck's going on with this guy? Like some guy on Twitter who was just like, I love children and it's just like a natural thing, and like, you know, I don't act upon it, but like I don't think people should judge me because like I'm like sexually attracted to kids. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I think we were both of us like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with this motherfucker? You know, I think Master J also, we were just like, yo, what the fuck's going on with this guy? You know, shit like that's crazy. Shit like that's crazy. Like, you know, no. Like people praise the anime kisses. I don't know what the fuck that is. I have no interest in it. But stuff like that is not funny. Stuff like that's not funny. You know. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. But let's see what time it is. 36. Oh, we got time. We got time. But yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, yeah, like harem manga, problematic. A lot of shit going on in that. That's like real sus. You know, and people try to ignore it. It's like, nah. You know, like stuff like that. You know, and that's why like you have like that's why you have people who are like not only allow shit like child pornography to keep like going, but like will defend individuals who collect child pornography and buy child pornography and shit like that and love that shit. Like they will defend them to the death. Like, and I'm like, yo, y'all crazy. That shit is not. That shit is mad sus. So stuff like that, like I will never defend. I'll never be like, oh well, you know, but nah. Let me think. Yo, let's quickly talk about music. Let me see. Why aren't people in the anime industry just praising interest like they should do that? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just ignore that shit. But I don't ignore it. But I like pretty oftentimes, like when I'm talking with people, I'm like, yo, like that shit isn't sus. It's like disgusting and it's wrong and it's a problem and it needs to stop, right? Like sus is like, oh, it might be like sus is like some like conspiracy theory like type shit, right? Where it's like maybe this is a thing that's true. And maybe this is a thing that's going on, but we don't necessarily know. But it's like, yo, we know incest exists. Like we know that incest anime is a thing. We understand that child pornography exists and that people in all industries are very much so like pedophiles, right? We understand that those things are real. This ain't no sus shit. This is real shit. So we got to change that too. We got to change the language of how we talk about this shit too. That's important. All right, but enough about that. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about music, because I would say I'm a music head. Like I love music. I love listening to that shit every day. I listen to music every day, every fucking day, and I listen to a lot of it. What do y'all like? Like what type of music do y'all like? What do you listen to? What are you into? You know? And yeah, let me know. You know, cause I love talking about music. I love talking about like, you know, what people what people's favorite artists are, you know, who are they looking out for? Shit like that. See you later. My phone's about that. All right. Okay. All right. Later, Poker Geek. If you're leaving, like later. But yeah, like, what are y'all into? What do you like to listen to? It's okay if your phone's going dead. Don't worry about it. You know, it's chill. It's all chill. Because I'm really interested. Because like I talked about this like in the beginning stream, like in another stream. Like I love rap music. I love R&B music. I love most music, like punk pop, rock music. You know, gospel music, like gospel music. You know what I mean? Like not like white gospel music, because that shit is. But yeah, rap's great. R&B, and I guess like if anything, I talk about R&B because like I'm I like R&B is like my favorite shit. I love R&B to death, man. I love R&B to death. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Korean, rap, hip hop. Yo, I did listen to MF Doom. Dubstep, hip hop, pop. Yeah. All that shit is great. All that shit is great shit. Professor Poker Geek. All that shit is great shit. I love dubstep. I was into for a little bit. Just in terms of like dancing, like dubstep, I was into it for a little bit. Because like I love the beats. I love like sort of like way that you could sort of like hit hard in certain moves and stuff like that. Hip hop, of course. Rap, yes. Pop. I love how you said hip hop and then hip hop, because like hip hop is a shit. Hip hop is a shit. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, like pop, I guess. Like yeah, that shit's great. Let's see. Did you get a chance to listen to MF Doom? Yo, again, I did. Fire shit, yo. Definitely got like an interesting flow. Sometimes he's a little like a little like offbeat in a purposeful way, which I like. You know, like there's a way that you can be offbeat, like right where you could rap offbeat, purposefully, and then there's a way that you could rap offbeat and just be like trash. I'm a Drake guy. Oh, we got a Drake guy. Hey, and like I say that, and like I think like a lot of people are like, yo, Drake swag, Drake sucks, Drake sucks. I'm like, yo, a lot of people that be like Drake sucks were like standing off of his fucking mixtape, right? When he came up with that, what was it? What the fuck was it called? What's it called? Best I Ever Had or So Far Gone, something like that. I can't remember. But like, you know what I mean? Like remember like the tape that had Best I Ever Had, Successful, you know, tracks like that, and like they were, you know, and like but they were probably fiending for that shit. They were like, yo, Drake's great, and now they're like, oh, Drake's whack. Drake's not a great artist. Drake's not a rah. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, So Far Gone, right? And like that was a great fucking mixtape, man. Dubstep or jam bands at festivals is nice, but not always the right moment. Yeah. Sometimes it's like with those, like with that, like you kind of gotta be in a particular mood. Like I don't wake up in the morning and I'm like, yo, I need some dubstep. Like I just need like that hard ass fucking beat, man. I need that like, you know, I need like that crazy BPS. Like I need that shit. Like no, you know. Let's see, rap rock, other shit. Honestly, all types of music have their moment. Yeah, facts. For like a while, I was like really into country music, yo. It was wild. But for a minute, I was really into country music. And some like I don't listen to it nearly as much as I used to. That doesn't mean I don't still like it or that I'm not in the mood for it sometimes. Sometimes I am. You know. But yeah, my favorite rapper and personal GOAT is Lil Wayne. But I enjoy a lot of different rappers. Yeah. Everybody has their own different GOAT. Everybody has someone that they like personally really love that like speaks to them for whatever reason. That's why like when someone says like who's the best rapper, like you can argue for it, but that was one thing. Remember like what was it like you can have like a an argument or even a debate to try and improve something, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes right after the debate is over, maybe y'all didn't agree. But you can still like agree on the fact that like y'all have like your own personal like faves and stuff like that. Like there a lot of rappers do a lot of things differently. If I had to, like my favorite rapper is Black Thought. I love Black Thought. Like Black Thought is my fucking guy to death. Drake is my new school rapper. If he counts as new school, yeah, he's somewhere. I don't know. He's somewhere. I don't know when new school starts. I think that's the thing. If I had to, I don't know if he's new school. I think like he's a transitional guy. You know, I would say he's a transitional guy. I don't think he's, you know, he's not old school, but he's definitely like, I don't think he's like new school or anything like that. I think he's just like, you know, he's one of those guys just like making music. But there's a lot of Drake tracks that I love. What are your impressions on MF Doom? I love MF Doom. MF Doom is great. I'm gonna where's my phone? Fuck my phone go. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. There's a lot of shit that I like. I liked what was the album? Operation Doomsday? That shit was fire. And what I love is like he seems like a cat, like he seems like a dude that's like really into like, right, like even that like is like he seems like he's really into comics, like he loves like shit like that. I like artists that like really infuse themselves and what they're into their music and into like, you know, the titles are album covers, things like that. Like he's got like right like MF Doom, like he's got Dr. Doom on the cover, Doomsday, all those like right like the play on words and shit like that. That shit is fire. I love shit like that. It's cool. It's cool. But like I said, like I really like you know, like at least with this album, like there was like, you know, like he can change flows. But particularly I like his sort of off like the way he could rap off beat, but like purposefully. And like there aren't a lot of artists, rappers that can do that well, right? There are a lot of artists that do that terribly. Y'all remember that battle with Cassidy versus Freeway, and Cassidy washed that motherfucker, and like Cassidy was just like, you know what I mean? Like he had like people have like internal beats, and Cassidy was just like, I'm gonna go with this beat, and I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm gonna wash you, and I'm gonna throw out all these bars, flame bars, and Freeway just sounded like he was, I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do, like, but he was like, remember, he was like, yo, you gotta put on a beat, man, you gotta put on a beat. I'm Freeway. This is how I rap. It's a big way. Like it was just like, it was so funny. It was so funny. You know what I mean? So like there are some rappers that like they can do that shit purposefully because they understand like, you know, usually you'll rap on beat, on some type of beat or something like that, right? And Freeway was like, if there's no like external beat, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing necessarily, you know. So like shit like that is funny. But yeah, I like, but if I were to talk about rapping, like my favorite rappers, like yeah, like Black Thought is great. A lot of people sleep on female MCs. There are a lot of female MCs out there that are fucking phenomenal. Jean Grey is phenomenal. Rhapsody is very good. Really good shit. I've been replaying Rhapsody's last two albums, Crown and Layla's Wisdom, on repeat like for a minute. Just really good shit. Like some tracks like from Rhapsody you gotta check out. I'm gonna pull up my phone again. I'm just gonna throw out some tracks from Rhapsody that you all should check out if you haven't. Come on, let's go. What we got. Here we go. All right, so from like Layla's Wisdom, right? Y'all probably heard of Power. Most Def gets no sad. Let me see, right? And whenever Talib Kweli and Most Def get on a track together, that shit is always fucking fire. I've never listened to a track with Talib Kweli and Most Def and thought that shit was whack. Never haven't seen it. You know? So like, all right, let me get back to Rhapsody, right? So like Layla's Wisdom is a great track, the opening track. Power, of course, right? Power's been out for a while now with Kendrick Lamar, Rhapsody, Luke Skywalker. All right, hold on. I'm not playing the song because fuck that. Riding is a great song. A roller coaster jam called Love is a great song. Knock on My Door. Ooh Wee. Nobody is a phenomenal fucking track because it has Rhapsody, Anderson .Paak, and Black Thought. Fire. You know what I mean? And then if you look at Crown is another phenomenal fucking album. Sometimes I listen to Crown more than I do to Layla's Wisdom. Let me see something. Is Dustin streaming already? Nah. Okay, good. Crown is a phenomenal track. Gonna Miss You is a fire track. Yo, if you listen to any track on Crown, you gotta listen to fucking Gonna Miss You. That track is fucking flames. AI, The Prince is dope. Yo, facts. Yo, but facts. These are rappers that get no love. One, because they're very good at conscious rap. Oh, let me get back to Rhapsody. Tina Turner's a great track. Mad is a great track. 2 a.m. featuring Ab Soul is a great track. Right? You know what I mean? There's some great ass fucking tracks on there. Great shit. Check both of those albums out. Yeah. But they don't get no love, right? And part of it is because like they don't sell. They don't sell in the same way, right? And that's what it's about. It's about selling. You know, it's about selling albums and shit like that. It's about selling tracks. And they don't sell. Well, let me go to Talib Kweli. I'm trying to remember the Right About Now, the track Talib Kweli's album, like mixtape. That was kind of like a playlist, kind of like a weird mixtape or something. Like he was trying to conceptualize something else, and it wasn't really an album, but it wasn't really a mixtape. It was weird, but it was fire. I remember reading a review of it by some white dude, and he was like, "Oh, this isn't as good as like this album or blah 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 or whatever." And I was like, "That album was fire," because he was just spitting. He was just spitting. I love albums or mixtapes or whatever where the rap is just spitting fire. That's it. They just spitting. They have there's the fucking beat, a melody track or whatever. There's like a right produced track, and then they just go on. They just go in. That shit is. I love that shit. You know, and it's good. Like what was the track? Supreme, Son. And then what's the other track? There's a track. Let me find you, Talib. Where you at, Talib? Right About Now. You know, Flash Gordon's a great track. The Beast is a fucking track. That is a track, y'all. You know what I mean? Tracks. Right About Now, the opening track. Drugs, Basketball, Rap. You know what I mean? Come on now. Eardrum is a phenomenal album. The Beautiful Struggle is great. You know, good ass shit. Good ass shit. But yeah. You know, and like I said, female MCs like severely underrated. Jean Grey is great. Queen Latifah back in the day was great. Underrated. Lauryn Hill. I can't say any more about Lauryn Hill. Like, we already know. You know what I mean? If you listen to that album, if you listen to The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, you already know. You know? Crazy shit, yo. But yeah, Most Def is phenomenal. You know, Drake is cool. Drake is cool. Like as an artist, right? Because we understand that, like, you know, rarely do rappers who gain certain type of level of notoriety, rarely do they write everything themselves at a certain point. You know, like they get help with their bars, they get help with changing certain things like that. You know, and like, yes, we understand that Drake is like a ghostwriter, so like I can never say that Drake is like the best like lyricist, but is Drake one of the best like artists, rap artists of all time? Yeah, you have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge like not only his impact musically, but like when the Toronto Raptors say we want you to be an ambassador for our NBA fucking team, for the franchise, oh my God. How many of the fucking rappers are doing that? Like real talk. How many other rappers are doing that? How many other rappers have been like called in by a fucking NBA team to be an ambassador for them? How many other rappers are interviewing LeBron James? Well, no, not interviewing. Being interviewed with LeBron James. No. Let me think. I'm trying to remember the interview. I know. Yeah, Drake was being interviewed, or no, Drake. I feel like Drake was interviewing LeBron and somebody else, but I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. You know, you can't you know, can't discount that shit. You know, that shit was wild. And it's like people. Oh, it was and Bosch. Yeah, Chris Bosch. Chris Bosch was interviewing Drake and LeBron, I believe. And it was fire. It was a fire thing. It was really cool. You know, and it was really cool. I was like, yo, And that's the thing, right? It's like when you get to that level where it's like, yo, NBA players are like, yes, let's like do these like business transactions together and stuff like that. That's when you know you made it. Like you have such an impact that like people in other fields can't ignore you. Right? That's the thing, right? Like Kendrick is like getting there is already there. He's getting to that point. And I mean, he was on he was at Complex Con with Kobe. Kobe said, "Yo, I see you." That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. You cannot discount that. That's why and that's why people are like, "Yo, like Kendrick, man, Kendrick's the best of all time." I don't agree. I don't agree with that. You know, but I understand where people how people construct that idea. You know, I mean, look at what he's done. Look at what he's done for Compton, for the Black community, for music. You know, stuff like that is really important. Yeah. Like I said, you know, I don't agree either, but he's a great MC. Yeah, right. It's like he's a great MC. I wouldn't like it's very difficult, like, you know, to have a solid like this person is the greatest of well, no, sometimes, well, no, yeah, I think in every field it's very difficult to say this person is the best that ever did this thing. Sometimes it is very easy to be like, yo, but I think a lot of times it's not. You know what I mean? If we talk about basketball, if you talk about R&B singers, you know, whatever, it's hard. Some people will be like, you know, Whitney's the greatest singer ever, but some people will say Billie Holiday is the greatest singer ever. Some people will say Ella Fitzgerald is the greatest singer ever. Some people will say Luther Vandross was the greatest singer ever. Some people will say MJ was. I have a hard time going with that because MJ was a great singer, but he wasn't like Whitney level. You know, but like still, you know, like arguments like that are made all the time. With basketball, some people say MJ is the GOAT. A lot of people say MJ is the GOAT. A lot of people will say LeBron is the GOAT. A lot of people will say Bill Russell's the GOAT. A lot of people will say Wilt, Magic, Bird. It's a lot of them. You know, Kareem, right? So that's just hard. That shit is hard. Because like if someone's trying to argue Kareem, what the fuck am I gonna say? You know, I'm gonna say like, nah, you bugging. How you bugging like arguing that Kareem is the greatest of all time? How you bugging if you say Bill Russell is the greatest of all time? How you bugging if you say Magic was the greatest of all time? How you bugging if you say MJ is the greatest of all time? You know what I mean? Like, I think LeBron needs to be done with his career before he can like really sort of be in that conversation. But once he's done, there's no question that you can make an argument for it. Bird, I think less so because Larry Bird, I think it's harder for a white basketball player to be the best of all time. Partly because white basketball players don't impact the game on a global level in the same way that like an MJ or a Kobe or a or Yao Ming or a Kareem or Magic do. You know? It's hard. Or LeBron. You know, it's like Hakeem. I forgot about Hakeem. How the fuck did I forget about Hakeem, yo? Hakeem was ridiculous. To me, Hakeem was the best center ever. Maybe Kareem. Maybe Kareem is the best center ever, and then Hakeem. But I mean, I think like people underestimate Hakeem's footwork so much that it's like, you know. But like I can make an argument for that. I can make an argument like Hakeem is the best center ever, one of the greatest players ever. That guy was just like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? Shaq was like, I can't do shit against this guy. You know, like he couldn't do shit against Hakeem. Hakeem made him look like a boy. Just off of footwork and a nice J. That's it. You know, like shit, like I mean, not that's it, but you know what I mean. You know, stuff like that. It's like it's really difficult. You know what I mean? You know, if you go back to music, like with R&B, oh my goodness, there's so many artists, You know, I mean, not just R&B, but like soul, funk, psychedelic, all that shit. Motown, you know what I mean? Like all that shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes, yeah, Hakeem won, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Finals MVP in the same fucking year. Like the man was on fucking point. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that matters. But we go back to music like quickly, like with the R&B artists, like come on, like, if someone made an argument that like Stevie Wonder is like the greatest R&B, like one of the greatest R&B entertainers or soul entertainers or just like singers, right, of all time. That's like, look at Stevie Wonder's career. Look at how many fire albums he has. I mean, I'm gonna go through that right now. I'm gonna like, people be sleeping on like older artists, man. RP, I just lost a sub. It happens. Sometimes you lose subs, sometimes you gain subs. That's the thing. You have to get used to that. It happens. Trust me. Once you get used to that, you'll be able to sleep better at night. You really will. But let me look through. Some of y'all gotta check out. Victor Oladipo is like making R&B music. That shit's not bad. Like, that shit's not bad. His single "Unfollow" was a great single. I love that single. But Stephen Wonder, where you at? Look at these albums. For Once in My Life, Hotter Than July, I Was Made to Love Her, Inner Visions, My Sherry and More, Sign Seal Delivered, Where I'm Coming From, Talking Book. Like, look how many fucking albums, and all of those albums are fucking fire. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. Like, it's really different. Like, because it's like a massive catalog, and it's like quality shit. Whitney Houston. It's annoying losing with that in mind. Sleeping is hell. Being terrified losing a lot. Can't worry about it. Can't worry about losing subs, man. If you worry about losing subs, it's gonna be real hard. It's gonna be really, 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 really hard to to sleep. It's gonna be really hard to keep going. You really gotta. You can't worry about that shit, man. All right. So Dustin is live. I am going to end the stream now, and then I'm going to join his stream. All right. So later, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, Oladipo sang at the beginning of his dunk contest, and he sounded pretty good. He's got like a 7-track album on Spotify or whatever. Check it out. Yeah, like just keep trying not to care about it, and eventually you'll be like, whatever. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like if I lose a sub, like I'm not. Like I still have a bunch of people to talk to. Send link to a stream. Let me find it. All right, I'm sending a link. Also, sub to Dustin. So you get the notifications, everything like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, ingratiate yourself with people. That's a big thing. All right, later, everybody. I'm going to Dustin's stream. I'll see you there if you go in there. Thank all y'all for coming out. Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, like, I just try to come out, talk to people, have a good time. Like I said, anytime y'all want to join a hangout or something like that, feel free. Let me know. Feel free to tweet me. Feel free to send me a tweet message, a message. And I'll definitely get back to you. All right, Black Manga Critic is out, and I'm going to check out Dustin's stream.